Shot for goal. Shot for goal. Shot for goal. Shot for goal. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show today, and we are rocking and rolling. Shot for goal. And this week is one of the most exciting weeks. It's got me out of rhythm because U.S. Club Nationals is happening, and we're very excited about that. I'm Stefan Rapazzo. Thanks for joining. Noah Brinkworth is with us, and he's already there in San Diego. Noah, how you doing?
Doing good, Steph. I'm a little jet lagged. I got off a big flight yesterday. Got into San Diego. Great city. Had some awesome tacos so far, and I'm just enjoying the lovely California weather. And excited for some Ultimate to get on the way, and to talk about some European players who are also making the trip over, Steph.
Yeah, that's the plan for the show today. We've got the Euro radar on. We've included maybe a non-American radar detectee as well. But basically a bunch of the players from Europe that are popping up in bigger and bigger droves each year, it seems. And this year we've kind of counted them off. We think we've got them all identified and picked out of the rosters. But there's a bunch of them out there, Noah. So let's go over how to watch them.
There certainly is, and and I think when you see the impact that some of the players are making, I think that there's no player we should talk about in that respect more than Dante Murray, who for Machine and for Chicago Union has been in the absence of Joe White, I think their best player. And Steph, you were on the mic at the US Open a couple months ago, claiming that he was the best player in the world. State your case.
I've made bold claims. I feel like the claims have started to pick up in that general direction since then, because he's done nothing.
I've noticed that too.
Play incredible since then, as well as the influence I have. No, but of course he's just getting better and better. He wants to win. He wants to grab some crazy stats. Charlie said, like, Chicago Machine, when Dan's not on the field, they lose. When he's on the field, they win. Like, quite simply, statistically, he is the most exciting player to watch. So there will be a lot of people from Brussels and Leuven watching the natural-born jet setter, who of course plays big-time club with Mooncatchers and won there. But seeing what he can do over in Chicago, a team that is in a tough pool, but a great pool to get through, with Revolver, with Goat, and with Sockeye, sorry. But that Revolver Machine game on day one is going to be absolute fireworks. These are the kind of games that I feel like players like Don were kind of made to play, and he's not alone over there either, as far as the Euro radar, Noah.
No, he's got Sofiane Bontemps also joining him on the Chicago Machine roster. I think he's grown in a lot of people's estimations after what a season he's had. He had at U24s. He was looking like, a player who was challenging and winning the matchups against the best players from the US and Canada. Obviously, they had a disappointing finals performance there, but elsewhere. He was, great with Moon when they travelled over, and him and Dan played together. Played against played against Chicago Machine and beat them in that pool play game. Sofiane is looking like a primo receiver, primo finisher in the division. Can also play some fantastic defense, and he's just such a great target. Right, finds the backs of end zones really nicely, and finds those spots where other players are poached off him, and he's just wide open in space, and can make a great play if he needs to as well on the catch.
Yeah, Bontemps, nothing but good things to say. And the 1-2 punch with the two of them now playing with so many successful clubs together, they've just got this, culture built into their pairing at least, that they can work well together. They know how to win. And they're injecting from Machine. They're not the only ones. So now a non-European, but of course there is one more decentralized player who's relocated for U.S. Nationals on Machine, and that's Sam McGuckin, the Brisbaneite from Australia. Noah, an international. He's had a heck of a career. We've seen him at pro champs. Estimated impact from the big Aussie.
Yeah, we saw him at Pro Champs. He's obviously a massive receiver and a great defender as well. That's always the kind of player that is really tempting to sneak in into a great roster, and I'm sure he's going to make Machine better. Australia had a difficult year at the World Games after a really strong 2022, but still he had really good impact in the World Games. According to the Edge stats, he was the 11th highest on Edge, and that's against the kind of 100 plus players who played at the World Games. Second highest contributor for Australia, just behind Cat Phillips. So, he's making a big. He's probably the best open player in Australia right now, and he can definitely hang in the US Nationals. Tell me more, Steph, about how he played at Pro Champs, because I didn't get to watch as much of that as maybe you have.
Yeah, maybe not. I did see one game of Gak, but kind of off to his usual stuff. I did see one great connection, this hammer between Arters and McGuckin that was awesome. Ran down at the back of the end zone, or the front on the line of the end zone. He's just a great playmaker. He's a big body. He gives Chicago just another lethal weapon. They look so good. I think they can only be their own undoing. But if all things are firing, there is no reason why Machine shouldn't be in the conversation on Sunday still. So we'll see what happens with Machine. Noah?
They absolutely should be, Steph, but I can't lie. And maybe this is a little bit controversial, but I kind of don't want them to do that well, because I actually would be kind of more interested to see what happened in 2022, where Mooncatchers pull back Dan and Sofiane, and Gut goes back to an Aussie team.
Sunder.
And then some of these Machine players, for Sunder, and some of these Machine players make the trip over and actually go and play with those out of town.
Machine are notorious guns for hire. I mean, exactly that. Yeah. 2022. This is how a lot of it all began. But the Joe White coming over to play Isno, in fact, is kind of Joe White and Tim Schott coming over. But we beat Mooncatchers in quarters in the Tom's tourney the week after they arrived, and they had impactful games, of course. And I remember Joe and Ref talking, and that's kind of the beginning of how he helped broker to get Bansfield and company and Arters on board for 2022. And then since then, Chicago's kind of Europe's team. There's been a lot of back and forth, a lot of cross-representation.
Yeah, we've had Conor Mickael, who we'll talk about later, come and talk about back and forth. We've also saw a lot of Paul Arters last year. He was over for Tom's tourney, right? He also played at EUCF, if I'm correct, in 2024. So that's really cool to see him doing the early yards, coming over and playing for Mooncatchers. It'll be if everyone qualifies, if Machine do have a run as good as we hope they could, based on their performance. What that kind of WOC team will look like. I'm sure Pierre Allon has nailed down a contract onto Dan Demray for the 2026 championships.
The understory in this U.S. Club Nationals is the greatest external recruiting effort that's ever existed in the sport is going on in the underbelly right now. People just waiting to see fourth place teams and who they know on those teams and how quickly they can scoop them. It's going to be great. I love it. Anyway, before we get into that kind of goop, let's go to Conor Mickael. GOAT is in the same division as Machine. They're the 4th seed, the weakest seed in that division. They're going to have their hands full to get out, as said. But Conor Mickael, Tom Blasman both bring their talents to Greater Ottawa and Toronto. GOAT. Noah, what are your thoughts on those two playing?
Conor Mickael from Clapham, kind of on the other side of the spectrum, right, of a team that very rarely takes external players, and yeah, he But he's made the trip across the pond. He's played for Machine before. Obviously, this year he was part of the European resurgence and for Toronto Rush. That didn't go perhaps quite as as
Toronto Rush.
Toronto Rush.
And sorry, I can't say Toronto without shout out Toronto Blue Jays. We're going to the World Series. Last night I didn't sleep.
Oh yeah, I saw that. It was also beat the Sound. Beat Seattle.
Yes, we beat the Mariners in Game
I was
7.
walking around San Diego and
Springer
all the
dinger.
sports bars.
Oh, just so good. Anyways, back to the show.
Yeah. Yeah, and so, I mean, as a collective, that whole season disappointing for the Toronto Rush. However, they saw some pieces that they like. I thought Blasman definitely impressed in the UFA with his hammers, using that whole width of the field that they've got out there, and he's making the trip over. Connor Mickael has got some US nationals, club nationals experience, and he's also going to be playing with GOAT. This GOAT team, more of an underdog. Like we're looking at Machine to push onto Sunday. I think that if this GOAT team made bracket, especially if they got through a pre-quarter, they'd be pretty happy with that result, right, Steph?
I'd say that's about right. You never know. You can always play up, but I'd say that's a pretty good estimation. They'd have to have a heck of a game to be able to knock off Sockeye in this one, let alone anything else beyond that. So let's move right along in the open division, the men's division over there in US to Group B. The 2 seed over there is Dig from Boston, and Dig got a couple of Euros playing ball over there, don't they? No.
They do, and they've been playing fantastically, Steph. I think that talked about Dante Marais on the Belgian side, but it's almost hard to talk about him without contrasting to Toba de Klana, the gentle youth player who's applied his trade in the UFA for 2 years now, straight from Rookie of the Year to MVP. He had a brilliant season. He's grown and he's become an all-round player. He has always been fantastic in the air, and what's so awesome about Toba is his work ethic, his drive, and he's upgrading his top skills, his receiving. He's maybe one of the best receivers in. He's maybe the best deep receiver in the world right now, Steph. But he's also developed his throws, and he's cooking real nice on that Dig O line with the likes of Orion Cable, who we've also seen play on European teams when he'd made the trip over to play with La Fossa in 2022, with the likes of Jeff Babbitt, who is just an absolute legend of the game.
Yes.
And Seba Rossi's playing on the other lines. Steph, tell me more about how he's been doing playing on the D line for Dig.
Yeah, Seba's a grinder. Like, to get a guy as talented as him, who is a guy who's a very talented thrower and decision maker, but I think his game starts with his speed and athleticism. Newer player on the team. I think the D line is a great fit for him. Playing, and can have impact behind the disc or upfield when they get turns. Seba Rossi's not somebody who is going to be number one stat leader on that team, but he, I could see him getting as many blocks and doing the block getting as he does assists on conversion lines. Like, he's gonna give you a handful of everything, and as he always does, he makes problems for the opposition. The young man from Rimini will have some Italian hearts watching when Boston plays.
Absolutely. He got a real nasty layout block in the Pro Champs final against Revolver. I think it might have been sent back for like a foul on the throw, which is brutal. But at the US Open, he got 2 blocks as well. The most anyone on that Dig team got was 3. So, he's right at the top there. I think he's playing right at the top kind of selection points for their D line roster, and I'm also seeing him make some great contributions as they turn the disc over. Where should we go? Let's go ahead, Steph.
Yeah, I just wanted to look quickly at that division as far as Dig goes. That's a tough one too, with with Truck and Bravo. Euro Impact, there's two of them there. What are your? I mean, I think IC did getting through topping that division. We're not going to talk too much on our picks and predictions,
pool.
but I do think that Toby, as he said, he's been shadowed a bit by Dan. I think if he has the impact he wants with Seba, I think they're going to top it off.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, they've even got players like Rowan McDonald, right, living on the D line, right, and someone who can drive the offense so much. Yeah, like it was so impressive what I've seen of Albert Yuan, out of Ned Dick on that Dig O-line. I think last year my kind of thoughts going into nationals were Dig needed a little bit of depth, and I don't know if they've improved or I've just learned more about the kind of players they've had, and they've certainly had a more impressive season here. So I expect them to get the 1 seed, get the bye through pre-quarters. I wonder who that would cross them into in the quarterfinal round.
We'll do our X's and O's later. For now, let's keep cruising. Men's division also has another Belgian playing RDU, Rally Durham United. Arthur Feller is playing over in RDU. He's come back from a major injury 2 years ago now, and I say he's come back because like he really has well and truly. I've enjoyed watching his reintegration into Elite Ultimate. He's done it slow and steady, and he's right back to better than where he was, I think, before he went in. And he's a reset handler. He is a grind handler defender. He's not going to give you the highlights of some of the other Belgians that'll be in town, but he'll always can throw the body on the line, has a deep range of throws. There is plenty that Feller can give you, and RDU are going to be having that on display.
I'll be interested, Steph, to see what line he plays on, because in Europe we've always seen Feller play on the O-line. But when players come over and they join a new team, they're much more likely to join on the D line. So, if he's going out there pulling, he's going to have to play some defensive against some like lights out handlers. So if he can really contain those and then make some great offensive impact when they get a turn on the disc, that would be interesting to see. It's a great test for him. I thought that maybe he would take another year, given him coming back from injury, like you said, Steph. But he's straight out there, straight getting trials from a bunch of US teams, and this RDU team is strong. They've come to nationals the last few years now. Obviously, kind of a second team out of that North Carolina area, but they could threaten. They could, I think, kind of we're in a similar place to GOAT, where if they can get through and perform well in a pre-quarter, I think they'll be pretty happy with that, and maybe even it'll be fun to see them try and push ahead of Ring.
Agreed. Let's cross over to the women's division. There's a couple Canadian teams, and those Canadian teams have got some European soldiers representing from the six. I said it again, Toronto Blue Jays just won Game 7 going to the World Series, and Sixers are going to U.S. Club Nationals, and they're bringing my girl from Slovenia, Aurora Rory Leshnik, going down. I know you're a big fan of Leshnik's game.
100%. She has the most jaw-dropping layout Ds of any player in the game right now, across any division. She's gotten multiple selections for ULTI.TV teams, super teams, and always it's a huge show every time she steps on the field.
So good, she catches my swill, Noah, at last CFC, and in highlightable fashion as well. Go on, though. You have more to say?
She was awesome. Yeah, I mean, I think that people underrate her throwing as well. Like she, with that kind of CrossFit build, she has got powerful throws. You can absolutely launch a flick hook, really expand the field, especially on a windy day when other players might struggle to fight against the wind on those kind of upwind points. she's a field expanding player, whether she's throwing the huck or whether she's catching or defending someone else being thrown a huck. She had a tough year with Horne after top finish to the year with Horne in the EUCF. So I wonder if she's going to have something to prove going to the US.
Yeah, tough finish as far as placing goes. Yeah, they wanted to win that thing. I think, they came out healthy and disappointed, but yeah, sure, that's always going to be fuel. Leshnik, I feel like she's got a deep tank, but put a little bit more in it. I think she can, again, external player. She was a defensive player the year before last. Last year she played the O-line. She's capable on both sides. Where is she best integrated on a team that she kind of knows now? She's been going over 3 or 4 tournaments in the last, probably 4 tournaments in the last 2 years now. So there's some cohesion, along with Molly Wedge, who is Canadian. So why are we mentioning her? Because she's pretty much adopted by the UK family. She is
of course.
A GB player. She totally is. But she is a dual citizen. Molly Wedge is a Brit now, and she will be representing alongside Leshnik for the Sixers. So it is I think that's great European firepower as far as what they are adding on. Molly Wedge coming off probably her strongest campaign I've ever seen her on, what she did at World Games. She was an incredible shutdown defender. I mean, I really liked a lot about her game, her reset game. Her marking the disc she's an incredible player-to-player defender.
Her engine as well, Steph. It was real hot out there in China, and other players were crumbling down in the stretch in those games in the heat. Molly Wedge, not at all. How impressive is it, Steph, to be living in Europe and go and make a North American national team, and then not only for it to be the national team, for it to be the World Games team. That shows the kind of level that Molly Wedge, the national team, the best of the best, the cream of the crop. And Molly Wedge had an awesome performance. I think that kind of pedigree is going to allow her to get into some big, universe key point situations for Sixers.
They got, there's just tough groups all around. You always say, they got a tough group. Everybody's got a tough group. But, they got Brute Squad that is going to be tough. But Flipside and Iris, they're used to beating Iris. Flipside would be like a big win up. But I would say there's a chance there. That I'm sure in Sixers camp, I'm sure they're eyeing every game. We play one game at a time. But you got to think that if they take that Flipside game, that's they're bouncing the right way. Anyways, it will be fun to see what they can do through the tournament. And with
I think there is also a different. Yeah, I think there is also a kind of a slightly different philosophy in terms of the kind of preparation you can have at US Club Nationals. Teams are going into the tournament with specific game plans to play against specific teams, and yes, they're keeping in the moment, but they're also thinking ahead, thinking perhaps about even what pre-quarters and quarters they might be looking to try and get into. And the Sixers, they had a great run a few years back now. When was it that Sixers made the finals?
Pre-COVID, I think 2018,
2019, 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a team they're a team that have caused massive upsets at the US National Championships before, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them do it again.
Yeah, I think I got them. I'm backing them to knock off Flipside in the California Ontario battle, just because it's happening in baseball too. No, not just because, but that's my. I'll put my neck on the line for that one.
Let's go to those Jays.
Yeah, the Jays.
Then we've got a couple more Canadian Brits. Yeah.
Yeah, Canadian-born Brits. These two joined at the hip. Not really, but the Thompson twins. Becky and Helen Thompson both taking their talents to traffic. They're from Vancouver, or they're definitely Canadian. I'm pretty sure they're from Vancouver, but have played traffic before.
Yeah, I think they're from Vancouver. Yeah.
Yeah, Helen was just playing with Moon Cup, silver medaling at UCF last time we saw her. Becky helped to get Reading qualified, but didn't play at EU, and has been over there putting in a bit more time with traffic. And I thought Becky was playing like her best game I'd see her play in a very long time was the Nationals semi and final games that Reading played. I thought she was great. So I think, again, this is like external player. How does it fit in? I think Becky Thompson, that both of them are a bit more adept to playing O-line. Can they be fit in? Will they fit in one and not the other? It'll be really interesting how they're both used. But they will have bent and riot and grit to contend with. They can. I mean, I think it's a group you want to be saying we can steal a win here. Heck, if we get on a run, you never know. You know, if we steal one early, we might get going.
I mean, they should be beating Grit, right? They seated above them. I think
to be bent.
That Grit is kind of like a second to Scandal. I think. Yeah, the way I see that pool going, I think Bent are more of a threat to Riot and pushing that way in terms of the upset than Traffic pushing into them.
I believe
you stole a lot of what I was going to say about the Thompson twins, Steph. They've had a fantastic season. Helen obviously making the move from Smog to Moon Cup, and she was getting play on the D line that was, heading out there every time. Pulling for them, and yeah, like you said, she's normally known as an offensive player, but making that impact on the D-line, kind of almost great training for this for US Nationals with Traffic here, going out and playing some D-line offense, trying to marshal on turns, getting a nice pull out there. I totally agree with what you said about Becky Thompson's play at US Nationals. Honestly, the best game I've ever seen her play was that national chain that Reading did manage to kind of throw away the national championship there. It kind of shows the impact she had by Reading having a pretty poor UCF. They did not make the top 8. I don't think they grabbed the elite invite spot in 9th after I think off the top of my head they finished like 10th or 12th. So that shows the kind of impact they're having there. Traffic, if they beat Grit and do struggle as we expect versus Riot and Ben, then they would come into a crossover against Portland Schwa or Pittsburgh Parcher. And I like both of those matchups for them. I think that's a great pre-quarter that gives them the opportunity to get into the top 8.
Well, we'll be keeping our eye on Traffic and what the Thompson twins are doing as we keep moving our way down this list of Europeans. And this one is a European embraced because I believe Julia Harris is American born and is back over there playing some U.S. ball with Raleigh in the mixed division. I believe the only European player that we're taking on here. But Julia Harris is definitely a European player, definitely embraced by the community. And we talk about people who are like just hot right now. Like I think the same about Julia Harris. Like her name's getting chucked around in all sorts of player award conversations, and she's a fringe of the best.
She was chucking her own.
Yeah, she's chucking enough reasons.
She was chucking her own body around in the European final. I mean, she was trying to do absolutely everything for that Moon Cup side. I think she's awesome, actually quite underrated. Yeah.
Raleigh,
I think she's been one of the best players for Moon Cup for a long time, Steph. She's awesome. I
agree. Underrated. That is a player who should be recognized as underrated. And even though now, like, finally, we're seeing a bit more of her in the big games, Moon Cup's done well 2 years in a row, and she's been playing well and playing at the top. She's been very good for a long time from when she was playing with CUSB shout back in the day. Raleigh's got hybrid, sprocket, and mixtape. Hybrids look like they are glistening in lubricant so that their muscles can shine in flexing as well as anybody. They look good.
It's a tough pull, right?
Sprocket, mixtape. I mean, Tanner Johnson goes super team. You got to watch out for him.
But on the other side, they are losing Live Player for their World Games player who's moving over to Brute Squad. So
yes.
perhaps Sprocket a little bit more gettable this
Right,
year.
taking a notch. But let's see if Rally can get it done, if bounce their way through the bracket, if they do end up taking the loss to Hybrid, or if they can throw the kitchen sink at them. And if they do, we'll credit all that to Julia Harris because she's a adopted European player.
I've got an idea here, Steph.
Hit me.
Is that every? Oh no, there's more players to talk about. Well,
Yeah, there's more
I've got an
players.
idea for when we get to the end here.
All right, do you want
We've
to
got,
tell
we've
the
got more
idea
players
now? Or tell the idea.
Why
at the
don't
end?
we?
Okay.
No, let's do it because it might help you think about it a bit. We've got 17 players here, Steph. Why don't, after we finish talking about all of them, we do a little snake draft? And you've seen that fantasy frisbee stuff. We can pick a 7 each.
Yeah.
I'll work out how many points we're getting on fantasy frisbee, and we can see next week who does the best.
Okay, so you pick your 8 or 7 out of this list of Euro players, and we play Fantasy Euro.
Across all divisions, fancy Euro.
Fancy Euro cross all divisions, no-nos game. Who's in? Pick your
Who's
team. Noah's the scorekeeper, and we'll tell you how to run this as we go. But for now, pick your 7 based on.
I just
this
want to
list.
beat your team, Steph.
That's never going to happen. Next up, let's stay in the women's division. Let's go over to Washington. Group C, 3 seed Scandal. They're the 3 seed. Is that right? No.
Scandal.
The 3 total seed. The number 1 seed in the group. Yes, 3 seed. Over there, and we have Verena Volesen playing with them. Verena Volesen, a rep on the World Games team this year. She's been over to Scandal. This is not her first year. I think this will be her second or potentially more, 3rd year. What are your thoughts on Volesen and the impact she's had or might have, Noah?
Wallace's definitely a defense first player. I think she was going out pretty much every D point for the German World Games team. I think she's really there to shut a player out the game. They pick whoever they want to take out downfield, chuck Wallace on her, and she'll do a pretty good job. I don't think she's going to light up the stats board in the way that some of these other players do, but kind of like we were talking about with Guck, right? And Guck might have more impact on the other side of the disc, but it's just easy. If you get a tall, fast, great defensive player, they can fit into a team wonderfully. And I saw Scandal showing Wooly some great support while she was repping at the World Games. I'm sure she's going to repay that to Scandal this time. And though they have a real tough group, I do back Scandal to top that group with the class of Claire Trope.
Trope is the hope. Don't mess around. She'll take you down. But some other people or teams.
We could do one better than the 3 seeds, Steph. We can go all the way up to the 2 seed.
Ooh, I thought
there
is more that's higher than 3.
Yeah, I hear there's 2, and there's a European player on both of those teams.
Are you kidding me?
Once
Okay,
is
tell
in
me
the-
who's on the 2 seed. Tell me about this 2 seed in the women's division.
So there's this player called Levka Walsizak. I've not heard of her.
Yeah.
I don't think she plays much Ultimate, really. I hear she's German. I hear she's Yeah, she's pretty good at ultimate. She's
Okay,
a pretty good
Levka,
podcast guest
she's best
on this show on
perspective,
Best
shot for
Perspective.
goal. Of course, we know Levka.
Of course.
Levka is
Pretty much every continent knows Levka as well.
Yeah, she just won AOUCs. There was the G still there with ellipsis. We did chat with Levka soon, but Levka can be everything. Like, okay, Levka had the most turnovers at the World Game, but she still had overall positive impact. I think in the women's division you can get away with a few more turnovers if you are a high-powered part of the offense like Levka injects herself. But when she is demanding, when she's got her stutter step working, she's getting every third, fourth disc. Her round throws are great. Her quick releases are great. And her power throwing, her huck ability and ability to get into hucking position are incredible. And if Levka gets going, she can be a total difference maker.
Yeah, and like a game to watch that is kind of she's had similar games like this for Brute as well, but if you cast your mind back to the World Cup's final in 2022, I mean, she was everywhere. She was throwing big shots, and sometimes they would come off, sometimes they wouldn't. She was getting blocks. She was running small give goes in the backfield. Such a dynamic player, such a strong player, fit. She can guard every point if she wanted. Can kind of play in that kind of way Dan has, infinite engine, offense, defense, absolutely everywhere. And what I love to see is she's made the trip over with Brute Squad so many times now. I think at least 3 that they know it. I think she's well integrated, and they can really use Levka to her full impact. Brute Squad looking to have a great year. I think it's going to be tough for anyone to take out this 1 seed, but Brute Squad are going to give it a damn good go, and I hope they also manage to. And Mike Scandal as well will be looking ahead for the WUC bids for 2026 in sunny Limerick. But this 1 seed, Steph, tell us about them and tell us about our European player representing there.
Well, Fury need no introduction, but we'll talk about them anyways from the Bay Area. Maddie Tsang coach team. Now, I did not just recheck my notes, but at least 13-time national champions. Just the definition of what it is to be elite in Ultimate in the U.S. in the most competitive tournament in the world. And first, I think Volchak. This will be our 4th year, perhaps, with Brute Squad, because I think this is 3rd for Irena, and Levka went over a year prior. But Scazzieri, her 3rd year in town, won last year, was the top goal getter in the finals, was the top goal getter at U.S. Open, scored the game-winning goal at Pro Champs, if I'm not mistaken. But, I mean, Scazzieri just keeps injecting herself with extreme positive impact for what Fury's doing, which is already like this, well-oiled machine, and she's just putting in powerful strokes to keep it propelled. And I think Scazzieri is in good position to win a back-to-back. But, there are teams out there like Brute, like you said, that anything can happen out here. It's club nationals. Anything can happen, Noah.
Yep. She was at the US Open, Steph. Scazzieri was Fury's top goal scorer, and she's one of the best scorer of goals in the division. A great finisher of possessions, plays best with her back to the end zone, Steph, and links play together, and also is just elusive at a front cone. She's a great fantasy pick. I think that she's in my fantasy Frisbee 7, and I'll be looking to try and get her in this snake draft here, because super safe with the disc and gives you a lot of cutting yards. A great piece for this versatile Fury side, who seem destined to take another US national title.
Okay. Well, with that destiny on the line, Fury, their first, or their pool looks like Schwa, Parcha, and Nightlock. You see them basically moonwalking through that. No, there'll be some resistance, but I think expectations are they're going to go 3-0 and see what happens in the quarters when they start getting some bigger bats swung their way. Yeah, that's. I think that's about everybody, Noah. We've gone through the list of all of the European representation that we know of at U.S. Club Nationals. Let us know if we got anything wrong, and let's pick our teams. Let us know what your teams are. Put it in the chat. Put it in the comments, or that either of those will work. Noah, you gonna go first, or we go one by one? Can we? How do you want to do this?
Well, I think I'm going to let you pick, Steph, if you want the first and the fourth pick, or if you want the second and third picks.
Okay, so it is a draft style.
Down. So 1, then 2, 2,
oh, yeah, it's
2,
snake.
2,
okay,
2,
so I'll go first. I'll take Don.
Mm-hmm. All right, that's a great pick. Gonna be the captain, I guess, for your side. I'm certainly gonna pick Scazzieri.
That's a great choice.
I'm gonna put her as a cutter. I don't know if we'll even do this. Maybe we'll make everyone captains just to make the scores even. But it's hard to think who to go with as well as that. You know what? I'm gonna go Toba de Krana, and he's gonna go captain for me.
That's not a bad choice at all to take Toba de Krana. I'm gonna stay in Chicago. I need some Chicago. I need Chicago to win for this to work. But I'm gonna go McGuckin actually over Bontemps even, which is tough. So I get 2 in a row here.
Yeah, you do.
So I could go. I can't put all my eggs in one basket. Blastman scores. Leshnik will get on the list. It's probably. Yeah, I'm doing it. Levka. I'll take Levka.
Oh, damn. That's the one I really wanted. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I will take Sofiane. You're passing him up. He'll probably go as a defender for me. I think you can get some real nice stats if you pick a good defender.
You're right.
And where am I gonna go? I'll go Connor Mickael and put him defender as well.
All right. I'm gonna go Tom Blastman. I don't know what you mean by putting people defender and stuff.
Like in the fancy frizz, you get a captain, you get 2 cutters, 2 handlers, and 2 defenders.
What do you mean
They score different points based on how much they get.
Okay, so I gotta pick.
You gotta get on this stuff. The chat's gonna know about fantasy frisbee.
All right, I gotta know.
It's
I get on. That's what I'm doing right now.
You'd love it.
Actively being drafted amidst it. So it's my turn. I get 2 right here. And I took Blastman, and I'm gonna take Aurora Leshnik.
Very nice. That's 5 for you. I've got 4, so I need 2 more, and then I've got one last one. Who do I want? I'm going to take a bit of a risk and go with Julia Harris. Don't know what kind of impact she's going to have on this rally team, but I just think she's a great player. So I'm going to
might not be any risk about it.
And I'm going to pick Seba Rossi, I think, as well.
All right, then I will take the Thompson twins, and that leaves you with Arthur Feller.
Yeah, no, I think I can go Wedge as well.
Sorry, no. I will take Becky and Molly. Oh, yes.
What? Okay.
You're right. I can be.
Yeah, I don't think that's allowed.
It's not.
I think you've just I think
I'm happy with my top.
You got-
friends.
well, good, because I will take Molly Wedge as
Okay.
my final pick.
And then
I'll show you how to pick your positions there, Steph. I think we've got 7 apiece, and we'll check back next week, see who won the
we'll
draft,
have
and
those,
see which one of these
up and ready.
teams wins nationals and takes those WUC bids. 3 bids in all divisions, so we're getting bronze medal matches this
And,
US Club
hey, guys,
Nationals as well. Adds a new dynamic.
I'm gonna be at Club Nationals. Who should I follow? What should I do? I can have some sideline interviews going on. I'll do a little bit of content, maybe like do some live streaming of any games that are out in the corners or stuff. I'll be definitely doing some must-eat stuff, but let me know if there's anything that I should have my finger on the pulse for at Club Nationals, because I'm super keen. With
Yeah,
that,
absolutely.
we are going to wrap things up for U.S. Club Nationals, but we are going to check in with what happened last week in the All Africa Club Championship. I had a great check-in today, and we're going to check the tape and leave you with that and be right back to close things off. And it is my pleasure to touch base with a correspondent from the All African Championships that went down just last week. Welcome, Moses Njata, or as I understand, you're known in African Ultimate, Uncle Musa. This is right?
Yeah, Uncle Musa, that's me. Thank you for the invite.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And thank you, ULTI.TV, for doing this. We appreciate it.
Our pleasure. We really want to know what's happening in the world of Ultimate. And there was a continental championship, the All African. Why don't you start with telling us where was the event? Tell us a little bit about the event. How many teams were there? Give us some of the basics of last week's event.
Yeah, so last week on the 9th to 12th of October, we had the All Africa Club Championships happening in Kampala, Uganda. This happened at Kampala International School of Uganda. We had 13 teams from across Africa, representing about 11 nations. We had teams from Kenya, Tanzania. We had representation from Cairo, Egypt, and also from South Africa. Representation from Tanzania, as well as our neighbors Uganda, who are the hosts, as well as DRC. We had a team called Bukavu coming from there. A total of 13 teams that attended that event. It
Wow.
was the 5th event. We've had Africa Championships last in 2023 in Kenya, Kisumu. This time around it was in Uganda, Kampala.
And has the event grown? Are there more teams and more participants this year than years before?
This was the biggest ever in terms of representation. The last time we had this event were 9 teams.
Okay,
Before
great.
that, we had 9 teams in South Africa, Johannesburg. And before that, we had about 10 teams in Nairobi, Kenya. So in terms of participation, this was the biggest ever. In terms of player participation, also this was the biggest ever. We had more women players because this is a mixed event. We had more female players joining the event. And so there's been much growth. We have seen young teams like Vikings from Uganda, which is made up of high school kids. We have seen more senior teams. We had a masters team from Kenya participate. So we had a whole spectrum of participation. Thank you.
Incredible to hear that there's so vast representation of Africa, so many countries, 11 out of the 11 countries with only 13 teams. And that's just great news on all fronts that it's growing like that it's staying to mixed and you're playing true mixed. I love hearing about it. I want to be able to watch some. I know that it wasn't totally streamed this year, but I've watched some of the videos and sideline videos that were put up. Now, your team, the Wolves.
Yes, the Wolves.
Tell us a bit about the Wolves. Where exactly is your team from? Which city, which country? And tell us a little bit about how long you've been around.
Yeah, Wolves are the recently crowned champions of Africa. We come from Kenya,
Congratulations.
west of Kenya. Thank you.
Okay.
West of Kenya in a city called Kakamega, in a county called Kakamega. Wolves has been in the space for about 9 years now. Was founded in October of 2016. Myself and a few others, we started Wolves in Kakamega. We've grown to be a powerhouse in the region. I think I can say we are one of the decorated teams in East Africa. We played in multiple tournaments in East Africa. We've played in African Championships twice, 2023 and now this year. 2023 was not a very good year for us. We ended at position 6, but this year we came back strong and won the championship. Before that, we have played the Kenya National Championships and won 3 times out of 6 times. So we are the most decorated in terms of national championships in Kenya. Other than that, we are based at Masinde Muliro University of Science and Technology, which is a university where we have most of our academy players playing there. We have developed over the time, and it was good to see that in these championships we had an integration of the older players and the new players coming together to win the championships.
Amazing. A little bit of everything, some youth and some experience. So tell me about your opposition in the final. Who was the team that you finally beat to become champions this year?
So this year we played against Tropical Rangers. Tropical Rangers is also relatively old in the Kenyan Ultimate. Of course, not older than Kakamega Wolves. I think the difference was about 2 years in terms of setup. But they've developed also to be a powerhouse. They are based in a university called Kaimosi Friends University. And for me, I was happy to play against Tropical Rangers because it's a team that we had numerous clinics together to develop the team as they were coming up. They've grown to be a powerhouse also in East Africa. They were silver medalists in 2023 in the African Championships and also got to the finals this year. So that tells you it's a tough team. They are one-time national champions in Kenya. And so, again, it was a blend of, new students in school as well as people who have already gone through school programs. And so it was a strong team to play against, but one of the most spirited games that we have played in the recent past in terms of a fight.
Incredible. And
Yes.
it did finish on Universe Point. Am I right
Yes,
about that? Is that
it
correct?
was a universe point.
Okay.
A universe point that was quite emotional because we got a hand block just a few inches from the end zone, and that was the story. It was an awesome final.
Okay, I got to find a way to be able to watch this, hopefully, eventually. Just a little bit deeper in the tournament. Tell me about the semi-finalists on either side. Who did you beat in the semi, and who did, what was the name? Tropical
Rangers.
Tropical Rangers. Who did they beat?
They were playing against Kemri. Kemri Frisbee Club also is one of the consistent teams also in Ultimate in Kenya. They played and won that semi-final to meet us in the finals. We beat the 2023 champions to become finalists, and so we had to go through the 2023 champions, Blackfish Ultimate from Kisumu, which is
Kisumu.
Kisumu, a city in the west of Kenya also.
Okay, so all 4 semi-finalists were Kenyan.
Yes. All 4
All right,
semi-finalists were
so
Kenyan.
a major force in African Ultimate is Kenya, leading the way in the club division. I love to hear it. Now, tell me a little bit more about some of your Wolves. Who were some of the best players and maybe some of the standout players on the weekend that really, really helped? I know it's a team sport, but maybe if there's 1 or 2 or 3 players that you thought deserve a shout-out, who do you think those would be?
I have a number of players and teammates that I want to give a shout out to. I would like to start with our captains who led from the front. If you look at their statistics, that is Fena Odoyo, who was the spirit awardee at the event. And also in terms of statistics, she was number 2 in terms of MVP with 29 goals and assists. Of course, a big shout out to the South African player Agaka, who won the MVP for women. But definitely Fena was up there in terms of game and also in terms of statistics and also the most spirited female player of the event. I would also want to give a big shout out to Thomas, who has been captaining the team for the longest time. Is Evans Tomaso. We call him Evans Tomaso. Evans also, through his hand block, we won the finals. And so for me, I want to give
block on Universe.
A big block on Universe. And so I want to give a big shout out to him. I want to, also appreciate all the women in the team. I think they stood tall when we had some injuries in semi-final. The women stood up and just made sure that we kept going. A big shout out. I think it was an exemplary way of showing that mixed ultimate still is very important and works, because a big shout out to my ladies in the team. I also want to single out Christopher Son Will, who also has played with the team a couple of times now, 3 times, sometimes based in Australia. He also really supported the team well in terms of supporting strategy and coaching during the event. So
was he there?
Yes, he was there. He was there in person.
Will Christopherson. I played with him a little bit even.
He led. He also coached us a bit, and we appreciate, because we are ready to learn from others who have gone before us in terms of skill, in terms of spirit. And so a big shout out to Christopherson and also the whole team. My captains on the day were Davison Kaleke, and for spirit was Faith, together with Will and Fena and Kaleke for captainship. A big shout out to all my players.
Well, shout outs to all of them. They're all champions. Everybody on the Wolves are champs. Congratulations. The special shout outs for them. Big thank you to you, Musa, Uncle Musa, or Moses Jata. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for keeping us informed what's going on in Kenya and African Ultimate. And we hope that we can do this some more and keep the information flowing.
Thank you. We appreciate the time you have taken to speak to us. We look forward to working with you more on this front, to share our experiences. We'll definitely share out some more videos and photos that we took during the event. But thank you for keeping the Frisbee space more informed and entertained.
Moses Jata, Uncle Musa. Check it out. That's the Wolves right there. Now, you love to see it.
It's so awesome to hear from Uncle Musa. Awesome to hear how well Kenya are doing in their ultimate. All 4 teams in the semi-finals being from Kenya. Super cool. We obviously know it's like a massive time and financial commitment for these all-African teams to play at this tournament, and it's so cool that people are, making that sacrifice to play ultimate. And here's to more African championships. Here's to more participation and top elite level play. It's super exciting to see, and hopefully sometime soon we could get some streams out there, Steph. I would love to watch a video of these games. I'm sure there's some great ultimate happening over there.
We got to find ways to make that happen. Get lenses and eyes on every bit of ultimate. Moses was awesome. He wrote to say it was a great honor to be able to share. So it was an honor to have you as well, Uncle Musa. Doing good things down there, planting seeds of ultimate and getting elite powerhouse teams out of it. Looking forward to going to U.S. Club Nationals. Noah's already there. You have a busy working weekend, but these are the best ones. And I know you're very excited, Noah. I leave in about 12 hours from now. I'll be getting on a plane.
Absolutely, Seth. I'm so excited to watch my first ever Club Nationals in the flesh.
It's going to be madness. Make sure you're locked in. Of course, you watch that on Ulti World, but we love you for being right here on ULTI.TV, watching and supporting Shot for Goal for Noah Brinkworth, for Grabco on the ones and twos in the back. I've been Stefan Rapazzo. Thank you for joining us, and we will catch y'all next time.